Welcome to London's King's Place, where tonight we're celebrating the second Lush Prize Awards. The Lush Prize supports animal-free testing by awarding money prizes totalling £250,000 to individuals and organisations in the fields of science, training, lobbying and public awareness.
Quick, this way!
Welcome to the Lush Prize Awards 2013.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Science Prize particularly was successful this year, so the judges chose to split the prize, £25,000 to each group, and the first one we're going to invite to the stage to accept the award is Dr. Steve Enoch.
Thanks very much. So I'd like to start obviously by thanking everyone here and Lush for recognising the work we've done at Liverpool John Moores University. It's obviously a great honour to accept the award. We look at alternatives to animal testing by developing computational methods. We look at how chemistry can be used to group chemicals together and let us make predictions that's, in terms of alternatives. It's quite a useful method. And the university have been very generous and have agreed to match the money that Lush have put forward here. And we're going to fund a studentship, a PhD studentship with the money, and get a student involved in the research and carry on with the work we've been doing already.
The second Science Prize goes to Zoe Prichard, who is from Cardiff University.
Traditional toxicology, as I'm sure you're all aware, is mainly done in animals. So to this end, we decided to develop an NHBE, or normal human bronchial epithelial model.
We've decided what we're going to do with the money is we're going to use it to go and visit other countries and talk to people and kind of disseminate our research to wider audiences. And also we're going to reinvest within the model and kind of develop the model further so that we can kind of push forward and publish more and get recognition for the model on a scientific basis as well.
My name's Ruth and I did some research into the training prize, and what was really apparent was how important this area is for the future of non-animal methods. And so it's great that we've got two joint winners in this award as well. The first winner is, I'd like to present to Dr. Carol Barker.
Accelerate was founded by myself about 5 years ago, and we're very proud that we are an exclusively in vitro company. We've heard a lot today about human cells, and they're an incredibly powerful tool as an alternative to animal testing. Well, we've been running a series of training events focused at young people and students to try to educate the next generation about the scientific and ethical benefits of alternatives to animal testing. And we're going to be able to expand that work to provide students with either free or subsidised places onto our training events. So it's very exciting.
What really came through, I think, there is the passion that Dr. Carol Barker displayed there, and that is actually something that we found across the people who are doing this kind of work is they do it because they believe it, and I think that's also really true of the next winner of the training prize, which is Dr. Anna Maria Bassi from Italy.
Where I have been using non-animal test from more than 20 years. Winning is wonderful because this recognition by Lush Prize is very important. In Italy, in vitro method is not so successful by my other colleagues. So I'm very proud to receive this recognition.
Well, what a lovely evening. And what superb intelligence and vision is being applied not to killing, not to being destructive, but to something compassionate and intelligent. So I'm heartened. So lobbying, I mean, in this context, it's about convincing the regulators to introduce some sound science and compassion. One of the prizes for lobbying we've awarded this year goes to the Swedish Fund for Research with Animal Experiments.
You have to give them solutions, and as a research funding body, you have the advantage of having the scientists on your side. You can go and tell them that we've been funding research into these areas for years.
You know, we're not used to winning. We're funding research into replacing animal experiments. That's the main task that we do. But we also lobby and we work a lot on information. Because funding research is not enough, we have to make sure the regulators are moving in the same direction, and that information is out there for researchers and everybody else.
You can see how complex and sophisticated lobbying is today. You know, it's gone from shouting in the street, which is still necessary, we still have to do a bit of shouting, to very elaborate, meticulously planned strategies. And I think that applies to the other lobbying winner, ICAPO, International Council on Animal Protection in OECD programs.
Like everybody else, I'd really like to thank Lush and Ethical Consumer and the judges for giving us this opportunity, not only to talk about what we do, but to really ramp up what we're doing and make a big difference at OECD.
Well, what we do is lobby to get all of the advances, the scientific advances, alternatives to animal tests within OECD regulations, so get them applied to in a regulatory context. And so what we'll be able to do is use this money to further our work. We'll be able to, fund more tools to be used at the OECD level, be able to fund our experts being able to travel to meetings and advocate for our non-animal test methods.
The first Public Awareness Prize, and I have to say again, as Andrew had pointed out, we had quite a difficult time with the judging process this year. Tremendous number of applicants. It's really gone up even in the second year of the program. But the first prize this year I'm very pleased to award to the PETA Laboratory Investigations Department in the United States, Justin Goodman.
Most testing that happens is not required by law. 80 to 90% of it is not required by law. It is a choice. People are making a choice to go to the laboratory in the morning and kill animals all day and to make them sick and decapitate them when they're done with these experiments. That is a choice that they make. And our job as activists is to make that a choice they don't want to make.
There's so many excellent organizations and activists working to end animal experimentation. It's really an honor that Lush chose PETA to be acknowledged as leading the way in creating public awareness and affecting change for animals.
For the second Public Awareness Prize, it's my pleasure to award it to my friend and colleague Mandy Carter from SAFE, Save Animals from Exploitation in New Zealand.
SAFE is New Zealand's biggest animal rights organisation, and these are just a few of the things that we've been working on the last year. We're working on the New Zealand arm of a global campaign with Humane Society, and this is looking at getting a ban on cosmetic testing in New Zealand and also the sale of cosmetics testing animals in New Zealand.
I'd like to see us develop an app which will be about cruelty-free products, and because also the money is so much, there's endless possibilities what we could do with that. So I think we're still to look at what we will spend it on exactly, but I want it to be on furthering our cruelty-free cosmetics campaigns.
The reason that there's such a big clutch of us up here for this one is that the young researchers is a prize really close to our hearts at Lush. The whole Lush Prize sprung out of a sense of frustration. The founders of Lush have been working against animal testing since the late 1970s, and in their fresh-faced, naive youth, they didn't realise that it would take so long to even make a dent in the use of animals for cosmetics testing.
I'm very proud to receive this prize because it's recognizing for work in vitro work for non-using animal tests.
I was really happy, and I was really happy also to be awarded this prize for mechanistic investigations and for using in vitro methods, which is something that in the 3R world people also promote a lot, reduction and refinement of experiments, and it's nice to have a prize that really promotes replacements. So I was really happy about that aspect as well.
Oh wow, it was really a big surprise to win that prize, and it's really a big, huge honor to win that prize, and also that my work or our work is recognized.
I work on human retina, so this is the part of the eye which allows us to see, and we want to understand better the human retina to then use it isolated in the lab to test toxicity effects of treatments. So far, these treatments against blindness are developed in animals mostly, and we think especially the refining part should not be done in animals, but in humans, so in human tissue, which we get from donors.
This is the last award. In fact, it could go to just about everyone in the room. This year we had this marvelous situation where all of the hard work on getting animal experimentation in cosmetics sort of banned came to a conclusion. It makes me shiver just to say it. I'm delighted. I mean, you know, last year I was wittering on about you know, wanting something to happen before I died and all this sort of rubbish. And now, you know, I feel a lot more optimistic this year. Something has actually happened, and it's extremely important. So this particular award, the Lush Prize 2013 Special Award to celebrate the European ban on the use of animals in the testing of products for cosmetic purposes earlier this year. Emily McIver, come to the stage, a special award because you represent so much of all that effort.
Okay, well, first of all, I'd like to thank Mark for the very kind words of introduction. This has been a very, very long struggle, and late last year, it was announced that the EU ban would remain in place and would come into force on March the 11th, 2013. At a conference today in Brussels, I've heard European commissioners speak again about how taking this activity forward, replacing animal methods, is right for science. It's right because it responds to public opinion. And let's ourselves add, it's also right because we owe it to the animals to stop using them in this way. Thank you.
I'm surprised how far we've come. I mean, this was such a big leap this year and so exciting and exhilarating and encouraging because it has been years and years and years, isn't it? And it has been bloody hard work and you know, and as you said earlier on, sometimes, a lot of the time, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and I think you're worrying about the steps back a little bit, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. But I think if we stand firm and we carry on campaigning, we will keep the ban and we'll replicate it in other countries.
And I think for anyone watching this who's thinking about the prize next year, Lush is committed to this prize, not only next year, but for the year after. It's not something we're just doing for a couple of years. I've been asked by several researchers tonight, is Lush going to carry on doing it? Absolutely going to carry on doing it.